Good morning. This is H.B. Pitchlobe for the Abolition News Network, December 30th, 1852, completing the first year of the Illinois Central Railroad with Illinois Governor Augus C. French. And quite a ride it's been. We are here with him to interview the most knowledgeable and busiest person we know about the history of slavery in his state. We were able to catch him on the run, so to speak, riding back to the state capital, Springfield. Good morning, Governor French.
Good morning. Do you like my iron horse?
This is wonderful. Governor, so much is known about slavery in the South up till now, but very little is known about slavery in the northern states, especially in Illinois. Let's get right to what you know about the history of slavery in your state.
Yes, well, we have had something of a little different thing going in Illinois, but it was called something else ever since the beginning of the state in 1818.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning.
Well, you see, before the U.S. accepted Illinois into the Union, the French had been living here since 1720, and they had control of this area from Quebec. We had to allow the French inhabitants to keep their possessions and titles and protect their rights to keep the peace, which included slavery. But there was a major obstacle to that.
Tell me.
Well, when the Northwest Ordinance was issued in July 1787, it mandated the basic principles of government for the territories and the rules for applying for statehood. The new state would have to have a Republican constitution and have at least 60,000 free inhabitants to apply, and it would be on an equal footing with the original states.
So what's wrong with that?
Nothing. So far, except we had to get Congress to accept us with only 40,000 free inhabitants, and for that, even the census takers counted travelers passing through the state. But there was Article number 6 of the Northwest Ordinance, which stated clearly that there shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude in such territory, except incarcerated convicts.
That seems pretty clear. No slaves.
Well, that caused a lot of trouble. Some slaveholders avoided Illinois and hustled their slaves into Spanish-controlled Louisiana, and some requested a 10-year suspension of Article number 6, but mostly slavery was protected by getting around it.
Well, how did they do that?
Well, it started in 1803 when Governor Harrison and the legislature legalized indentured servants, where they could be bound up for 99 years. Then in 1814, the territorial legislation approved importing slaves for 12-month terms, renewable indefinitely. Owners working slaves beyond their terms rarely faced prosecution.
So now what happened going into statehood?
Well, the Illinois Congress worked out a constitution that offered something for everyone. The indentured servitude system, by which blacks could be contracted for work, for decades was grafted onto the state. So we had quasi-slavery from the beginning.
So, did you ever end slavery?
Yes. In a referendum in 1824, it wounded slavery, masquerading as indentured servants, and the pro-slavery forces were discouraged from coming from the South and settling in Illinois. So it gradually disappeared by 1840.
I see. But what about the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850? How did Illinois deal with that?
Oh, not very well at all. The slave law angered uninvolved people, so enforcement was sporadic. In some counties, it was repealed altogether. In Will County, residents believed the laws enforcing slavery were against the law of God. To aid in his capture was a crime against God and man.
Governor, last call for you guys,
Okay, Porter, I've got that. Just to wrap things up, political tides have shifted and slavery is being killed off. But I've got to say that blacks in general are not even deemed second-class citizens. Period. Colonization societies have sprung up all over the state to help blacks obtain a better life in the West Indies, or back to Africa, or just to be rid of them. Yes, Porter.
I heard you're the governor of Illinois.
Yes, this is my state's room. Do you have important business or something?
Yes. My name is Flora Dimquat, and I'm from Alton, Illinois. And my friend, Eliza Lovejoy, was gunned down in 1837 by a pro-slavery mob. In cold blood, in broad daylight. What are you going to do about that?
Lady, Miss Dimquat, is it? Eliza Lovejoy was an abolitionist, and he edited an inflammatory newspaper. And he was an outspoken abolitionist. And this state does not take kindly to abolitionism. You know, since then, this state has had a very low murder rate. In 1850, when I was elected governor, since the 12 months prior to June 1st, the 32 counties only had one murder.
That is not going to bring my friend back. He was shot in the chest 5 times. It's not going to do him any good to tell him to his grave that he was the only murderer of 1837. You need to take away their guns.
Whose guns?
All the slaveholders.
Do you see what I have to deal with? She would have me ban all assault rifles.
Yes, Governor French. Thank you for your candid, shoot-from-the-hip opinions. I can see where Illinois stands on slavery, guns, and abolitionists, and it looks like the Illinois Central Railroad will be the leading form of transportation in the coming decades. This is H.P. Pitchlope for the ANN saying good morning.